I was thinking of a bunch of things to ask you if you were, and one of them was like, "Are you flipping burgers?" And then I was thinking about flipping burgers itself and how it's kind of looked down upon, like, "Oh, it's this dead-end job," or it doesn't take any skill or anything like that. And I think it just sort of shows how, like, we don't value the things that go into what actually makes our stuff because everybody loves hamburgers. So, like, we don't say, oh, this person is involved in the process of making something that I love. They're just flipping burgers. Anyway, I just thought it was a beautiful day outside, so I thought we could make the video outside today. I mean, just look at this. There's smog and the biggest waste pile you've ever seen, but I mean, how could I do a video inside on a day like this? Hi, party people. It's me, Taylor Ellis, the creator of the Ellis Deck Tarot and the Tarot of the Starbound Phantasia, and welcome to the Pretty Picture Party. And today we're talking about the Two of Pentacles. So the Pentacles are Earth cards, and that Two is, like our balance. So what is Earth balance? Besides a butter substitute? One thing that I saw yesterday, I was kind of looking at local news, and there are builders that are getting sued because of the soil that they put the foundation of these houses on. And what happened is they didn't build a sound foundation because the soil itself wasn't even, it was too soft. It was not in the Goldilocks zone of how you want soil to be. And so these houses started cracking in half. And so you kind of have to think about that with like earth, like the dirt. When dirt is too dry, it blows away. And when it's too wet, we get stuck in it. So there you go, earth balance. All right, we're on some concrete now. Thought it might be better than a whole ASMR video of crunchy gravel walking. But the I Ching for Two of Pentacles is 4, which is water under mountain, aka youthful folly. And the image of this is water, a stream, flowing down a mountain, kind of filling in as it goes. And you have to think of that as like constancy. And the Two of Pentacles is very much about constancy. It's like doing something with no end in sight, like that, maybe that dead end job, like that burger flipping job. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can just stop it immediately. Sometimes you have to kind of stick with it. And in Brian Brown Walker's I Ching, specifically in Useful Folly, he talks about the I Ching teaches you to get from A to B, B to C, C to D. It doesn't really teach you, oh, here's the overall strategy for A to Z. And, that being said, with our Two of Pentacles, you're kind of juggling. You're doing this thing, and it seems really mundane, and it seems kind of pointless, but you kind of have to keep doing it. You can almost relate it, not too much, but I think it's something it has in common with the Eight of Pentacles, where it's like, even though that one is a little bit more about a skill or a craft, but you're slowly building off these little increments of effort. And the Two of Pentacles is implying like a sustained effort. The other thing that Useful Folly talks about is little experience equals little wisdom. So even though you might be having this kind of dull, I'm just juggling for quarters down at the docks type experience, you're getting some kind of experience in that. Something is happening to you. If you're paying attention to what's going around you, you're making observations, you're seeing things. And it also stresses the need for a teacher. And so that can kind of mean, maybe it's time for some school. Maybe it's time to learn something new. You can grow yourself out of that rut as well. And lastly, we've got our astrology correspondence, which is Jupiter in Capricorn. I think that fits really well into the juggling aspect portrayed in the card, because Jupiter is kind of lofty, kind of generous. Um, there's wealth, there's, I don't know, that's kind of the dreamer. And then Capricorn is like the reality, like the strategy. Um, you know, it's kind of that applying that wisdom. It's like you can have everything, but not all at once. You can't have so much of it. In fact, one slice of pizza, guys. I wanted to see if I could get some nice day in the background, but I kind of have to hold the camera funny, so I'm sorry if it shakes. But we'll start off with the Ellis deck, and uh, back in the background, we see the tall grass, and in one way, this was kind of an homage to being in the weeds, which you say in the service industry a lot. I guess it's bled out into everything, and maybe it didn't start with the service industry, but it's like the idea that you have a whole hell of a lot to do. In the Aquarian tarot that I drew inspiration from, there was kind of a rolling sea in the background. And since the Pinnacle people were kind of on this earth plane, I thought of them as being in more of a grassland. So instead of a rolling sea, we kind of have this sea of wheat. And if you look at the mask that our character is wearing on the card, it's a rabbit mask. And again, I think of like the Two of Pentacles. You're in this occupational role. It's a job. It's not you. It's something you do. You go and you put your mask on when you go to work every day, and that's, you know, who you are for a little while. You go home and you take it off, hopefully, and you know that's when real you takes over. Um, and you know that kind of goes down to the pentacles themselves, and there's two of them. We got one pointing up and one pointing down, and you know, those of you that know anything about, you know, the pentacle or like a lesser banishment or anything like that without getting too far into anything, you know, the star pointed upwards is a banishing, or like a sending away, or like a broadcasting or a casting or something. And then the pentacle, you know, pointing down is more like an evocation or a summoning. And so they're in this push pull type thing, this in and out, and our character is performing both. It's kind of their job. They're sort of making both things happen, and you know, kind of like you know, wax on, wax off. They're doing this, you know, mundane thing. I've said that about 100 times now, but they're doing something simple over and over and over again. And you know, in the act of that, what we see is the lemonade biscuit. And that's our figure eight. And they're noticing this pattern. And you know, this pattern is like a pattern of the universe. So it's like, you know, we talked in the last video about, you know, the sun is like the ultimate sacred and the mundane, because it's a you know, it's a big, you know, hydrogen to helium nuclear reactor deep in space. You know, and it's about as physical a reaction as you get, but it's also, man, if that's not magic, I don't know what is. So with this guy, we kind of think of like the wise janitor trope. And you know, what is that? That's like the character in the movie who has this really simple job, but has this, you know, almost pastoral understanding of the world as a result. Like the wise janitor has learned more about people from cleaning up their shit than if he cracked a book titled How to Be Wise and Learn About People.com. All right, and then you know that takes us to our Starbound Phantasia card. And what we've got here, if we look very, very close in the background, and I will use computer magic to zoom in on that for you, but we have this little bitty goat in the background on the edge of the cliff, and it looks like a dead end. But the cool thing about goats is that, you know, they see an angle They understand the situation and they look like they're walking up walls. You see lots of photographs of goats climbing these mountains and getting out of these impossible passes, these impassable passes. Um, and so then we go up to our pinnacles here. And within these pinnacles, we have these hands, and that's to represent our skills. Um, and kind of within these hands are these gems that represent the seed. Like the seed in the Starbound Phantasia and the Pinnacle set is sort of, it goes from like acorn on the ace, and it goes all the way through to like a blossoming tree, I believe, by the end. And that's, to represent, this is the growth of, like a material, I don't know, so much belonging or skill, but something that you have to invest in. And at the two, we're still kind of seeing the ups and downs, and they feel pretty extreme. Kind of ornamenting the pinnacles are a bird and a bat, symbolizing night and day. And that is, again, like with our other pinnacle card, it's like you work in the day or you work at night. And then you come home at night, you take the mask off, and it's that modality. It's that, I'm this and I'm that, but the gears kind of represent the ongoing machine of that is just this continual motion, and it's, continuity and like this oscillation, like it's back and forth, but it's like, it goes from like meh, ma, meh, ma, meh, ma, to it's just faster to eventually it's much faster than I can, move, and it really reveals itself when you zoom out to be this constancy. And when we look in the back of this card and we see there's our friend the lemon biscuit again. And so once again we see there's this, this infinity, this law of the universe that's revealed to us through the mundane. um you know it feels like it's forever, but it's not. The ship does come in. So if you're a burger flipper, a wise janitor, you hate your freaking job, it's the same shit every day, look at what you are learning from it. Look at the skills you're picking up from it. Even in the dead end stuff, look at what is being revealed to you. And there's an aspect of treading that just sort of has to happen at this time. And you will, in your constancy, find that you've either learned enough or provided yourself enough that when the ship comes in, you can buy a ticket. Outside is wonderful. It's so nice. And if you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please click bleh, bleh. Please click like and subscribe. I cannot stress how much that helps. It's bad. The algorithm is bad. It is free to click like and subscribe. If you don't want to do it, that is, your choice. But, I'd rather you click like than give me 10 bucks. I'd rather you leave a comment. I'd love to discuss. If you think I left something out or you think I'm totally wrong, I'm always up to delete your comment and block you. I'm just kidding. I would totally talk with you about it. Anyway, until next time, happy reading.